This is Hands-on Equations, Lesson 22. In this lesson, you'll be solving equations with parentheses, using both colors of cubes and both colors of pawns. All right, so let's look. I have 2 times x minus 1 plus 4 star equals x plus negative 8. Now, you learned back in level 1 that when you have parentheses, you build what's inside the parentheses first, just the same as order of operations. So I have x minus a positive 1, but I don't have a red cube to take away. But you've learned that you can add a 0 pair in as part of your setup in order to take away what's asked of in the expression. So x minus a positive 1 is the same as x plus negative 1. Now here I see I need to build 2 levels of that. So I'm going to bring up another x and another negative 1. Then I continue building. I have plus 4 star. And on the right side, I have x plus negative 8. All right, now that I've built it, I can start using any of my legal moves with the goal of having pawns on one side and cubes on the other side. So I see that I have a blue pawn here and a blue pawn on the left side. So I'm going to take one pawn away from each side. I'm subtracting an x. Then I see that I have a 0 pair. So I can get rid of that 0 pair. Now I've got pawns all on one side. But now I need to get these cubes on one side. So I want to get rid of these 2 cubes, which are worth negative 2. And I see that I also have a green cube on this side. So I can simply take away these 2. I'm subtracting a negative 2. Negative 8 minus negative 2 is negative 6. So some number added to itself 3 times is negative 6, or some number times 3 is negative 6. Well, I know that negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. If star is negative 2, x is positive 2. Now I go back and I build back my original equation. So I'm going to kind of undo all those legal moves I did. I'm going to bring back my 2 blue pawns, and I'm going to bring back my negative 8, and bring back these 2 here. Now I'm going to rearrange these just a little bit to make it a little simpler, because I see I've got 2 sets of 0 pairs of pawns, so I really don't even need to think about those in my check, because I know that they are worth 0. So I have negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus a negative 1 is negative 5. And negative 5 plus a negative 1 is negative 6. On this side, I have 2 plus a negative 8 is also worth negative 6. So negative 6 equals negative 6. Let's try another one. I have 2 sets of 2x minus 4 plus star equals 2 plus 2 star. Again, I start with the parentheses. So I have 2x minus a positive 4. I don't have a red 4 to take away, but you know that you can add in a 0 pair. And then I can go ahead and take away that positive 4 as part of my setup. So 2x minus positive 4 is the same as 2x plus a negative 4. Now I see that I have 2 layers or 2 levels of what's inside the parentheses. So I'm going to bring up 2 more blue pawns, and I'm going to bring up another green or negative 4. Now I can continue building. So plus star equals positive 2 plus 2 star. Now that I've built my equation, I can start using any of my legal moves to try to get my variables or pawns on one side and my constants or cubes on the other side. So I see that I've got 2 white pawns here, and I have a white pawn here as well. So I'm going to drop a white pawn from each side. Now I want to get rid of this one remaining white pawn, and I can do that by adding, it's missing half of a 0 pair to both sides. it was missing a blue pawn, so I added a blue pawn onto each side. Now I can drop down that 0 pair. So now I've accomplished getting all of my variables, all of my pawns onto one side. So I really want to get rid of this -8. So -4 is a -8. I can do that by adding in its missing half of its 0 pair. So I'm going to add 2 red 4s to both sides. I just had to duplicate a few of them as I ran out of 4 cubes. So I added a +8 in the form of 2 +4s on each side. Now I can drop down all of these cubes. They are 0 pairs. I had 2 sets of them. So I have 5 pawns. It's equal to +10 because 2, 4, and 4 is 10. So some number added to itself 5 times is 10. Well, I know that that is worth 2. So if x is worth 2, star is worth -2. Now I can go back and build my original equation. So I had added a blue pawn onto each side. I had taken down 2 white pawns and my white pawn here. I have my -8 is back, and I need to take away these red 4s that I added in. So now I have my original equation. I'm going to just pair some of these up a little bit because I know this is a 0 pair, so I can ignore them. Excuse me. So I have 3 blue pawns. I'm going to ignore the 0 pair. And let's go ahead and do our check. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's 6, +6. +6 plus a -8 is -2. On this side, I have 2 plus -2. That's 0. Plus another -2 is -2. So I have check is -2 equals -2. So in this lesson, you learned to solve equations with parentheses using both colors of cubes and both colors of pawns.